Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. They, the Ukrainians, are talking about Avdiivka all the time and Marinka. But I think where the Russians will eventually break the front is in Kupiansk. And Kupiansk is in Kharkiv Oblast. I will show you two maps. One coming from the Ukrainians, if you can believe that, and the other one coming from the Russians. And I have an article where they say that the Russians are storming Synkivka to block Kupiansk. So the Russians are trying to go around and block the supplies of troops and whatever else they need for the Ukrainian forces in Kupiansk. Let me show you the video first, and then we're going to go to the two maps. The Ukrainian map is more detailed than the one that I use from Sputnik, which is the Russian map. But nevertheless, the Russian map I think shows black and white. It's easier to maneuver. So let's start with the article Ukrainska Pravda, Monday, 11th of December 2023. Russians storm Synkivka to block Kupiansk, sending in reserves. Ukrainian ground forces commander. The Russian occupying forces are seeking to capture the village of Synkivka with assault companies in order to pave the way for the blockade of the town of Kupiansk. They are currently deploying reserves in the area. So let's go to the maps. First map, the Russian map. Easy right here. And then this is the area I'm talking about, right in the east, far east. This is Kharkiv, the Russians call it Kharkov. This is Kupiansk, right? Well, this little red little thing, red little riding hood right here. And Kupiansk is right here. This is Kupiansk. This is where the Russians have been advancing. And they are talking about this region right here. I can go, zoom in more than this, but I will use the Ukrainian map. So remember this, which looks this is Kupiansk right here. So it's very clear and nice. And we're going to go to the Ukrainian map, which is this. Kind of the same, but a lot of names and all that. So again, we're going to move here in this part right here. And Kupiansk is right here. And remember remember the town is right here. Synkivka. Make it like this. A bit like this. So here is Kupiansk right here. Here is Synkivka, which is the name is Synkivka. This is the town Synkivka. Is right here, and the Russians are trying to go around it. Go here, cross there's this little river here, go around and block the Ukrainians. So they're fighting in this little town of Bethlehem, Synkivka. All right, we got that covered. Now, if we look over the map, the Russian map, which I think it's much easier, but doesn't show it, is right here in this little place, this road or whatever this is. I don't know if it's in this area. So let's go back and see what the Russians are doing, and they bring more troops over there to storm the village. And this comes from Alexander Syrsky. You see, you're going to hear about this guy, or from this guy, the commander of the ground forces of armed forces of Ukraine, a lot. Why? Because this is on Zelensky's side, not on Zaluzny. As you probably know, the Ukrainian army right now is divided into the good army, according to Zelensky, and the bad army, instead of being the army, the good Ukrainian army. Why? Because Zelensky's personal fight, I think, with the Ukrainian General Zaluzny, which is the bad army. For me, I think that's the good army. But nevertheless, Syrsky, on the other hand, is listening to, I'm not sure what he's doing, but he seems to be on the side of Zelensky. Why? Because Zelensky cut the conversation, the communication with General Zaluzny, the commander-in-chief of all Ukraine armed forces, and this is just with the ground forces, Syrsky. So Zelensky bypasses Zaluzny and speaks directly, which is, he can do that, obviously, but it's obviously what's going on over here. They try to isolate Zaluzny so they can send him to into retirement. Now let's see what these guys are saying. The enemy, and I'm quoting, the enemy is trying to capture the town of Synkivka with assault companies in order to set the stage for blocking Kupiansk. However, they are suffering heavy personnel losses. Therefore, they've started to move their reserve assault formations to the area. So it seems like the Russians, as I identified so far, they fight at the minimum. And they try to win or to advance with the minimum losses. These guys are claiming the Russians are dying, in droves and all that, which could be possible. But the way I see the Russians are doing, how they brought in this guy's comment here, statement, I understand that the Russians always have in the back. So that's the main thing, and then they have here. So these are pushing, and when they need to, burst or break something, or they need for defenses, they bring more from here, They have it behind the front. So it says here, however, they are suffering heavy personnel losses. Therefore, they've started to move their reserve assault formations to the area. So they always have this, the reserve formations. So this is how you learn by these little statements. Syrskyi reported the Russian forces are also conducting intense offensive actions near the settlements of Novoselivske, Stelmakivka, Liman, Pershki, and towards Siversk. So Liman is, I found Liman on two positions. One in here, somewhere here, I'm going to look over the map and the Ukrainians and the Ukrainian map, and the other one is Krasny Liman, which is right here. This is Krasny Liman. And see what's going on over here? That's not good whatsoever for the Ukrainians. And here is Bakhmut, south of Krasny Liman, and as I said, in the north right here is Kupiansk. So let's see if we find Liman. These guys are talking about maybe, which I know it's somewhere north, another Liman in this area, but these guys have a different kind of, I know it's a different Liman, but I'm not going to look for it right now. I'm trying, but I know it's north of this, another Liman. But I don't know if they're talking about this, because usually when they talk about Liman, they go down south. So when they start discussing the front update, they start from Kupiansk and then say Liman next, which is south, obviously. And then they go from Liman, they go to, right here is Liman. We mention Liman, where I showed you all this bad situation here, and then they go from here to Bakhmut, and then they'll go to Avdiivka, which is right here. As you can tell, Avdiivka is screwed up. Oh, they already got here. Oh my, that hasn't been reported already. Right here, they got to this train tracks. Oh, that's done. The Ukrainians cannot bring any more troops. You see. That's the exit here. The trains and the highway, it's already, the Russians are here. I didn't see that on this map. This is the map of the Russians. Okay, you see the map of the Russians. They don't show this one being covered. Now the Ukrainians show it covered right here, all the way here. But it means these are done. They can't bring any more, maybe here. I don't know. That's bad. Let me see what they say here. Oh, it's right here. If you go here, they mention it on the right. Ukrainian military had 80. Oh, that's a nice thing to know. All right, so let's go back to the original article here. On the Liman front, they give you what's going on over there. The Russians are conducting an offensive to push Ukrainian troops beyond the Cherny Zerbet River and out of the Serebryanka forest area in the Luhansk Oblast. Okay, so that's this Liman that I'm talking about here. So the one that is Krasny Liman right here, because this is in Luhansk area, Oblast. So if you do it like this, it's right here in this area. So the Russians occupying army is engaged in unsuccessful assault operations near the Let's see what else we have here. Syrskyi stressed that the Ukrainian defenders are steadfastly holding their positions. Commanders and staff of all levels are analyzing the operational situation around the clock and developing effective ways to crush the Russian forces further. When they report this kind of things here, when the Ukrainians are reporting that the guys are trying to storm that thing over there in Kupiansk and that village, then the things are in Synkivka. The situation is much worse than they reported, obviously. Unless they want to show the Americans that, hey, without you we're losing, give us money and weapons, therefore they overemphasize the losses. Or maybe they are accurate then, I don't know. So as of now, the Russians storm Synkivka, and it seems like they lost Avdiivka, as I said a long time ago. It's all done, but people still die, unfortunately. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.